well. But we are so lucky to have Gary Doer as Canada's ambassador to the U.S. I mean, your leadership on everything, and I happen to agree with you on everything, which is pretty dangerous for the rest of you. But anyway, thank you for all your help with our conference last year, the year before, and now this year. We really do appreciate it. And the embassy people, and of course I mentioned the consulate. You know, there are a lot of different Great Lakes organizations. You mentioned Michigan as well. Governor Snyder has been fabulous on the new crossing and on Great Lakes. There's going to be a conference. Someone mentioned that earlier. I think Andy Buxbaum, who had to leave, mentioned there will be a conference with Great Lakes governors, which is an important organization, in late May and early June on Mackinac Island. It's a great place to have a conference. Somewhere in the audience, we have Bill McBride and Dennis Muchmore, who represent Governor Snyder, among others. Dennis is the Chief of Staff. Bill is the Washington representative. Thank you for being here representing the most important state in the Great Lakes region. What's really interesting, I learned a lot about the Foreign Service and the State Department serving as ambassador in Ottawa. And one thing I learned was we not only send our very best to Canada, I hope, but there are 3 consulates. There's a lot of consulates. We have a consulate in Halifax, Quebec City, Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, now Winnipeg again, right? Yes. And they root for the Jets. Yes. And Vancouver. But what's really interesting is that career foreign service people, because those are career people, whereas you have the political appointees like myself, you know, I got this because I knew a lot about Canada, but the real reason was I ran Bill Clinton's campaign in Michigan. So, and he's a good guy. We love him. But people bid on these positions, but you have to be at the highest level of career foreign service. And 2 of the most popular bids are Vancouver for the scenery and Toronto for the activity. Not that there isn't activity in Vancouver, there is. But it's la-la land out there, we all know that. It's British California, we call it, right? Anyway, well, we like it. And Montreal is obviously very, very popular. But so we send our very best, but they also want it to Toronto as Consul General. And I'm going to introduce representing Ambassador Jacobson, whose plane got canceled last night, this morning, and on and on and on, to represent him because it's a perfect representation. Jim Dickmeyer, who is our Consul General to Toronto, and you have what, all of Ontario, what else do you have, the world? You have Ottawa, you have whatever. He is a career foreign service distinguished statesman and has served all over Latin America, including Mexico and Brazil, and now Canada, and now Toronto. So please welcome Consul General Jim Dickmeyer. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, this was somewhat unexpected, but it's not going to be as hard as what I'm going to face in a few weeks. As you history buffs, we've been talking about the War of 1812. I have to go represent the United States at Fort York on April 27th, and I don't get to remind about the counter-burning of city until next year when I go to Washington, D.C. So I'm going to be taking some heat. I'm hoping there's some people who have my back. But I'm thankful for this opportunity, primarily because Ambassador Jacobson asked me to transmit to you, first of all, his just deep sorrow that he couldn't be here. And as the governor mentioned, this has been one of the areas of greatest focus that he and Ambassador Doer have put towards this project. It's the kind of project where you need visionaries working on it, and there are a number of them in this room. And it's the kind of legacy that I think will be so important, and I think we all look back and we'll say there were a lot of people who stepped forward with vision and then with a lot of effort to make this happen, and certainly one of them is an ambassador that I've served with a lot of them, and I've grown to admire Ambassador Jacobson tremendously for his dedication, his hard work, and his, I think, appreciation, which we don't always get in career service, for what we also do. And so he's been a great leader for all of us in the mission in Canada. He's followed in a great line of great ambassadors that we've had here, and has helped the relationship along. So for his part, again, congratulations to everybody that's here. He would be delighted with the outcome today and with the other work that's going on here, and will be, I think, continuing his support for this organization. So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Dewar, Consul General Dickmeyer, and Ambassador Jacobson. We really appreciate your coming and speaking tonight. At this time, I would like to pass the podium over to a visionary leader in the Cleveland community, and I'm very proud to have him as my mayor, not just because I live here, I was also born here, Mayor Frank Jackson.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. You know, I want to welcome the Council for the Great Lakes region to Cleveland, and I want to really thank you for choosing Cleveland for your conference. But most of all, I want to welcome Ambassador Dewar to Cleveland and tell you how honored I am to have you in Cleveland. And I have something for you. It's a proclamation that really officially recognizes you and welcomes you to Cleveland. Thank you very much. And Ambassador Jacobson, Mr. Dickmeyer, I have a proclamation for you that I'd like for you to give to the Ambassador. Yes, his name is on. And again, I want to thank you for choosing Cleveland. Hope you have a good time, and I also want to welcome the Mayor of Milwaukee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. For those who haven't met me yet, I'm Matthew Mendelson, and I'm the director of the Mowat Center. On behalf of the Mowat Center, who's been partnering with Koosley on this conference and the launch of the Council of the Great Lakes Region, what we refer to as SIGLR. We're very appreciative for this gorgeous space, the lovely hospitality from the mayor, from the folks at Koosley, from both ambassadors. Just wanted to again say our deep appreciation to the offices of the ambassadors and also the offices of the consuls general, both Jim Dickmeyer and Roy Norton, for all their help that they have provided. And on behalf of the Mayor of Toronto and the people of Toronto, we have a number of councillors here, but I'd like to introduce Michael Thompson, who is one of our leaders and on the executive committee of Mayor Ford, who will conclude these festivities and pass us along to supper and thank and welcome in the council. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I realize that I'm standing between you and dinner, and I realize how important that is. I just wanted to say that as the co-chair of the War of 1812 Committee in Toronto, I would say that we're all winners. The United States won, Canada won. In fact, look what we have here today. Would you not agree that it's about economic progression and not about war? I am joined by Councillor Doug Ford, who is here. Doug, where are you? He's over there. Big round of applause. He is, in fact, the mayor's brother. And I'd also like just to say to Governor and Ambassador Blanchard that, in fact, we do expect to have a ticker tape parade on Bay Street this year because the Toronto Maple Leafs will win the Stanley Cup. And you heard that from me. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is in fact a great pleasure to be here with you this evening at the birth of a most ambitious initiative. Enhance regional collaborations among all sectors on both sides of the border is in fact our best hope for economic and social sustainability in the challenging years ahead. I would like to express my thanks and gratitude on behalf of the people of Toronto to Mayor Jackson for hosting this groundbreaking event this evening. I'd also like to thank my good friend who is not here this evening, and I'm about to make a tremendous announcement on his behalf on the people of Toronto, but Ambassador Jacobson obviously is not able to be with us. And I'd also like to thank Ambassador Dewar for the great work, Ambassador, that you're doing with respect to fostering the relationship between the United States and Canada, and the detailed work that you're doing in terms of creating economic opportunity to ensure that all our people will have that prosperity and the opportunity to ensure that the resources are applied in sustainable ways to help us to manage our future prosperity. So thank you very much for the great work you do. Ladies and gentlemen, in events such as these, some of the most important networking and relationship building start in such social gathering like these, and it's very important. I also want to thank all the organizers, Matthew and others and so on, for the great work, because it is your energy, it is your talent, it is your vision, it is your inspiration, it is a collaborative approach towards our economic development and towards our future that the energy and the inspiration is brought into this. So thank you all very much for the great work that you do. The City of Toronto is excited to participate in this unprecedented initiative. Our city has long promoted and supported regional collaboration to enhance mutual prosperity and sustainability. In fact, in recent months, Ambassador Jacobson and his wife Julie have been working with us to establish closer cultural and economic ties between Toronto and Chicago. It would be great to extend these kinds of relationship across the whole region, and I think that's the work that's being done. So we are moving forward, and I'm very pleased to see that others are also doing the same. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure at this time, and I know the ambassador is not here, but I think we should make this announcement anyways, and I know that Jim and others will ensure that he gets this. The Mayor of Toronto, Mayor Rob Ford, has asked me to announce to you this evening, and in fact, as I said, I wish that the ambassador was here. The announcement is that the City of Toronto will be presenting the keys to our city to Ambassador Jacobson in recognition of his effort to promote and build cross-border collaborations between our two countries. Big round of applause. I think it's important to understand that all of our cities face similar economic challenges. We need to attract business investment, be open for new export markets, as well as to create jobs, to improve our infrastructure, and to preserve the health of our natural environment. It's important to understand that our objective and our approach in terms of this work that we do, we always ensure that we maintain our interest in preserving our natural environment. Would you not agree? Absolutely. I firmly believe that we can do a far better job of dealing with the challenges that we're facing if we work together in order to develop the appropriate solutions to these challenges. Collaboration trumps competition when it comes to tackling issues that are so broad and, in fact, so complex. We are very happy to join in this inaugural effort. We look forward to working with all of you in order to build a stronger, healthier Great Lakes region. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. That concludes our reception. Please be seated, and dinner will be served shortly. Later on in the evening, we will be having an award ceremony towards the end, but in the meantime, please enjoy your meals.